1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination begins this morning at 2,302 centres. Pakistan's Defence Secretary calls on Sri Lankan President. The Inland Revenue Department explains the receiving of a tax number. 1,038 more drug suspects arrested during the Yuktiya operation. The Ministry of Health has planned to implement a series of programs on national level to control the dengue menace from Sunday. Foreign news, Japan earthquake, eerie search for bodies near epicenter. News in detail. The 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination kicked off this morning with a total of 346,976 candidates sitting for the highly competitive national examination. The exam will go on until the 31st of this month at 2,302 centres. According to the Examinations Department, 281,445 of the candidates are school applicants, while the rest of the 65,531 are private applicants. Lieutenant General Hamoud-uz-Zaman Khan, retired Secretary of Pakistan's Defence Ministry, called on President Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday. Mr. Khan is in Sri Lanka to attend the 4th Sri Lanka-Pakistan Bilateral Defence Dialogue at the Defence Headquarters Complex in Sri Javadripura Kotte. President Wickremesinghe warmly welcomed the Pakistan Defence Secretary and engaged in a brief discussion. Following this, the Defence Secretary of Pakistan had a separate discussion with President's advisor on national security and Chief of the Presidential Staff, Mr. Sagala Ratnayaka. The Inland Revenue Department explains the receiving of a tax number which can be obtained from the online system by entering the official website of the Inland Revenue Department. Although it's mandatory to open a tax file and obtain a TIN number or TIN, this does not imply that all those who have registered for a TIN have to pay tax. Currently, only those people who earn a total monthly income of over 100,000 rupees have to pay tax. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Sri Lanka Police, together with the Special Task Force, STF, the Army and the Navy, have arrested 1,038 more suspects within the 24-hour window ending at 12:30 a.m. today. As per reports, 43 of the arrestees were sent to rehabilitation centres. The police have secured detention orders on 67 suspects for further interrogations. According to the Ministry of Public Security, 417 grams of heroin, 205 grams of methamphetamine or ice, 722 intoxicating pills, 2.88 kilograms of cannabis, and 24,203 cannabis plants were seized in the latest raids carried out under the Special Anti-Drug Operation Yuktiya. Meanwhile, 84 individuals who were on the list of island reconvicted criminals are also among the recent arrestees. The Ministry of Health has planned to implement a series of programs on national level to control the dengue menace in the country. A special program in this regard will begin from Sunday, centering on dengue risky areas. A discussion in this regard was held at the Ministry of Health under the patronage of Health Secretary Specialist Dr. Palitha Mahipala. As a result of this discussion, a district committee on dengue eradication will be established on district level from today. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
Minister Nalin Fernando says that plans have been made to reduce the cost of living burden by 75% by the end of the first quarter of this year. A positive growth rate of the economy is expected from the beginning of this year. Measures will also be taken to increase the rights of the consumers. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
The management of the Homagama Base Hospital has been compelled to suspend all major surgeries at the hospital due to the lack of surgeons. According to sources, 2 consultants designated to the hospital have left on reasonable grounds. In light of the situation, health sources stated that all surgeries, except minor surgeries like wound suturing, have been suspended and transferred to the Colombo National Hospital. Commenting on the situation, a senior official from the Health Ministry said the matter is being addressed. However, it may take a considerable time to find replacements. And that was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines first. Japan earthquake, eerie search for bodies near epicenter. Israel-Gaza war, Yemen's Houthi warned against new attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. And Salman Rushdie stabbing trial delayed over upcoming book. The fishing town of Wajima on Japan's west coast is burnt and broken. At its center, the remnants of its old marketplace are still smoldering, as if an explosion had just erupted, wiping out an area of size of a football pitch. A fire broke out when the New Year's Day earthquake hit and spread instantly, incinerating the wooden stalls and some surrounding homes. Twisted fragments of corrugated iron are scattered among the ash. Firefighters are still combing the smoking debris, checking for unextinguished flames. The US, UK and 10 other states have warned rebels in Yemen they will face consequences if they continue to attack commercial shipping in the Red Sea. In a joint statement, the group of mainly Western countries called for an immediate end to the attacks. Iranian-backed Houthi rebels have declared support for Hamas in the war it launched against Israel in October. Since November, the rebels have attacked commercial shipping in the Red Sea more than 20 times. They have used missiles, drones, fast boats and helicopters. They have claimed, often falsely, the ships were linked to Israel. The U.S. trial of the man charged with stabbing writer Sir Salman Rushdie in 2022 has been delayed. Attorneys for Hadi Matar, the defendant, argued they are entitled to review Mr. Rushdie's upcoming book. Jury selection was set to begin on 8th of January in upstate New York, but the defense said the book, a memoir about the attack, could be evidence. The attack damaged Mr. Rushdie's hands, and the Satanic Verses author was blinded in one eye. Prosecutors have accused Mr. Matar, a 26-year-old New Jersey resident, of rushing a stage Mr. Rushdie was standing on and stabbing the author over a dozen times in August 2022. Back to the headlines of the world news. Japan earthquake, eerie search for bodies near epicenter. Israel-Gaza war, Yemen Houthis warned against new attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. Salman Rushdie's stabbing trial delayed over upcoming book. And that ends World News.
Development News.
Trade, Commerce and Food Security Minister Nalin Fernando said yesterday that Lanka Sathosa aims to open 5 new mega stores and 10 regular Lanka Sathosa stores in the first quarter of 2024. Addressing a media conference at the Presidential Media Center, he said that by the year-end, plan is to expand the Lanka Sathosa network to 500 outlets. And that was Development News.
Moving on with Sports News.
Sri Lanka's chief selector Upul Taranga has confirmed that Dhananjaya De Silva will replace Dimuth Karunaratne as their test captain and thus become the 18th player from this country to lead in tests. Karunaratne had held the post for 30 tests, winning 12, losing 12 and drawing 6 games. Sri Lanka's most notable wins under his leadership came in his first 2 matches in charge, as they secured a memorable Test series win in South Africa in early 2019, becoming the first Asian side to do so and just the 3rd ever in history. And that was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Russia Airlines has commenced its services, becoming the 4th airline to facilitate travel between Moscow, Russia and Colombo. Operating 4 days a week via Boeing 777, Russia Airlines has established a specific schedule for its Moscow-Colombo route from the 1st of January, enhancing accessibility and convenience for travelers. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. In an effort to drive sustainable energy initiatives in Sri Lanka, Huawei recently organized a key conference titled Unleashing the Potential of a Sustainable Energy Future in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority SLSEA and the Solar Industries Association SIA. The event served as a dynamic platform for industry experts to share profound insights, fostering discourse on critical topics to drive the sector's evolution with over 300 prominent renewable energy invitees. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
A few showers will occur in eastern, central and Uva provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces and in the Kurunegala district after 2 p.m. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces during the morning. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination begins at 2,302 centres. Pakistan's Defence Secretary calls on the Sri Lankan President. The Inland Revenue Department explains the receiving of a tax number. 1,038 more drug suspects arrested during Operation Yuktiya. The Ministry of Health has planned to implement a series of programs on national level to control the dengue menace from Sunday. And in foreign news, Japan earthquake, EU research for bodies near epicenter. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's back to Victor Raj on the other side to keep you entertained this Thursday afternoon. Over to you, Victor.